wanna be your end game. I wanna be your first string. I wanna be your 18. I wanna be your end game, end game. Big reputation, big reputation. Ooh, you and me, we got big reputations. And you heard about me. Ooh, I got some big enemies. Big reputation, big reputation. Ooh, you and me, big conversations. And I heard about you. Ooh, you like the bad ones too. You so dope, don't overdose. Tucson. Yeah, we beat to death in Tucson, okay.
I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city and I broke down crying.
4 years, no clouds, and I'm looking pretty in a hotel bar, and I can't stop. No, I can't stop.
So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover, and I know you can't afford like that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't never getting older. We ain't never getting older. We ain't never getting older.
Look as good as the day I met you. I forget just why I left you. I was insane.
Hey, you tell your friends it was nice to meet them, but I hope I never see them again.
I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city and I broke down crying.
4 years, no calls. Now you're looking pretty in a hotel bar, and I can't stop.
No, I can't stop.
So baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover, and I know you can't afford like that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't never getting older. We ain't never getting older. We ain't never getting older. Baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford. Bite that tattoo on your shoulder. Pull the sheets right off the corner of that mattress that you stole from your roommate back in Boulder. We ain't never getting older.